Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Elevate with Emily. Thank you so much for your support in my last video. I was blown away by all the views and comments, and I wanted to further address the sound of freedom, which is such a sensitive topic with sex trafficking among children. And today I have a very special guest joining us. This is Michele. She is my supervisor, a licensed marriage and family therapist. She has worked with first responders, with law enforcement, with women who have been raped, sexually abused, who have resulting pregnancies from that. So she has very firsthand knowledge of some of the trauma and hardship that go on and how to address that. I'll include the highlights in this video, but make sure to check out the whole video. I'll add a link above for you to click on to take you to the Clear Counseling YouTube channel to watch the whole video there. Tell us about your reaction to watching The Sound of Freedom.
I think, like many people, I went in with a pit in my stomach. Like I was concerned about what I was going to see, how it was going to make me feel, if I could even handle it. I think a lot of people have felt that way. But I was very pleasantly surprised how tastefully the movie was done, and that they didn't show any graphic scenes that they themselves could be traumatizing, yet they did not miss the message. It was still a powerful message, and I would highly encourage everyone to go see it.
I know you took some time to read through the comments section, and some people really had a hard time wrapping their heads around this topic and knowing how to discuss it, or even if it's real, or just understanding how that could happen.
Part of people's anger is when they see people protesting about the movie, claiming that it's not real, that it's creating, it's all dramatized. But I think there's various reasons why people react that way. One reason can simply be it is so incomprehensible that people just can't wrap their head around it. Like, there's no way this is really happening, right? And with all of our movies and media, people get desensitized. They think this is just another drama. There's also those who would rather be in denial because it brings up fear, right? It brings up a sense of responsibility. If I know, then maybe I do need to do something, and I don't feel like there's anything I can do. And then, of course, there are those who are consumers and are financially benefiting from this situation.
So Michele, what would you say are the first steps that we can take in helping victims?
Well, Emily, just as you've done and been taking that bold step to share your convictions and acknowledge what's going on, I think that is the first step, right? Is acknowledging it and, increasing our awareness, because honestly, when it comes to the victims, it's not just what's happening to them, but it is the cover-up of society. It is the denial of society that perpetuates the victimization. It validates the lies that they're told, that nobody will believe you.
Yeah.
Right? It adds to that helplessness, that even if I do tell someone this is going on, they're going to think I'm crazy, or it's not really happening. I'm just being dramatic. I brought it on myself. I did something to deserve this.
Can you share with us a little bit about what the victims are going through personally?
Well, obviously with everyone it's going to be different, but one thing that's consistent is shame. Shame of what's been done to them, what they've participated in, this sense of it was my fault, or I could have fought back more. So we want to come in with acceptance of who they are, helping them understand it wasn't their fault, and that they can heal, but it will take time. What are the things that we can do to help? Well, first and foremost, just being aware is the first step, and acknowledging that this is actually a real concern. The second step is becoming more aware of your surroundings, right? Paying attention to what's going on, especially when you do see young children. Are they running around by themselves? Where are the parents? Maybe you can help them find their parents. If something looks off, the good news is you don't have to be the police. You don't have to be the detective trying to figure out if it's right or wrong. If something just doesn't look right or feels off, it's okay to call 911, call your local police department. call child services. I mean, whatever seems appropriate at the time, if it's a neighbor. Third is if you have children, of course, being attuned to them, recognizing if something's not right with them, something's off, being aware of where they are at all times, teaching them safety tips when it comes to strangers and being aware of their surroundings, in educating our children about strangers, even people they know, letting them know, like, hey, ask them what the code word is. Because unfortunately, as much as we don't want to think this, sometimes, in fact, oftentimes, even in just regular child abductions, it can be someone the child knows. Another thing we can do for our kids is be aware of what they're watching on social media. Social media is not regulated and does not have the same standards as other things. And so children can be exposed to things that are well above their maturity, both mentally and emotionally, let alone age appropriate. One of the things I liked about the movie is that they did show one of the big hooks for some of these kids and young children, as well as adolescents, is that they promise fame. They promise being a star and being a model or an actor. And they use their desire to be seen and noticed against them. And then in the process, they end up putting them in situations where they're sexualizing them by their poses and their makeup and hair that's just not age appropriate, right? So, but a lot of these kids, that's becoming normal because that's what they're seeing on social media. And then and parents are feeling pressured to give into it to keep their kids happy. But we have to understand the emotional implications of this. That just because a 9, 10, 11-year-old, 12-year-old is very intelligent, it doesn't mean they understand or have the emotional capacity to handle the responsibility that comes with these things.
Talking to your kids about sex is a very taboo topic. Like,
right.
So many parents are like, I don't know what's age appropriate or how to approach it with them or broach the topic. And so they just don't talk to their kids about sexuality. And then you have the kids learning about sex and sexuality from friends, from media, from social media, or they might be touched inappropriately by someone they know, and that person's like, oh, don't tell your parents. And they're not used to talking to their parents about sexuality because it's an awkward or shameful topic where it's never talked about in their home. And so then going back to the victims, they're shamed into being kept quiet. So parents being able to have these open conversations with their kids, say, you know, if someone ever touches you anywhere that makes you feel uncomfortable, if they touch you in these spots, even if it's someone we know, please tell me. We hope you enjoyed this video, that it's been helpful and meaningful, and we really hope to spread the message. Thank you for being willing to do your part in elevating our community and the world.